and believe that I make content for kids, but you're dumb as shit.
I'm surprised at how many people don't know that this is how Kai broke the sub record. He got 1 million subs because every sub that he gave himself, he kept 80%. That's how Kai got so many subs. It was self-gifting subs. You guys didn't know that?
Rough day to be unemployed, apparently. Cenat is back in the middle of online debate again. This time, people were saying his content is aimed at younger viewers, and he wasn't having it. He came back firmly, making it clear that what he creates is for himself and other adults, not kids. His point was simple. If you're a minor watching, that's on your parents, not him. He described his actual audience as grown adults getting home from a long shift and firing up his stream to unwind. Even so, plenty of viewers online couldn't help but laugh at the image because, let's be honest, it's a little funny picturing a bunch of 27-year-olds clocking out of work just to rush into the chat and start typing things like W and dropping usernames like Mads and Gilead.
I don't know who thinks and believes that I make content for kids, but you're dumb as shit if you think I'm making the content that I make is for me and other grown-ass bro.
Now, let's be clear, that's not some kind of age verification system. It's just a start watching button people can click through in 2 seconds. And realistically, it's probably never stopped a single person from tuning in. If anything, it comes across like one of those joke warning labels people print out and stick on a wall for laughs. But that's exactly why the clip keeps resurfacing. Once a streamer gets tagged with a certain label online, the conversation rarely stays simple. Some viewers hear that kind of disclaimer and shrug it off as just creator commentary. Others read it as a bigger statement about who the audience is actually supposed to be. That disagreement is what keeps the clip circulating, with people reacting more to the tone and wording than to the actual message itself. At this point, the reaction has almost become its own storyline, since every new take seems to spark another wave of jokes, pushback, and over-analysis from people who weren't even part of the original conversation. Cenat addressed it directly, saying he could easily call his Twitch rep and have the warning removed, but he chooses to leave it up. His reasoning? He's hoping the people watching are 18 and older, and the label makes that expectation clear before anyone even clicks into his stream. From there, some of the online commentary got sharper. Critics argued that the only adults actually watching are people close to him hoping for their own moment in the spotlight. One commenter went as far as saying they'd lose respect for a coworker who admitted to watching his streams, claiming they don't know many grown men who sit through his content. Another person took it further, saying no self-respecting adult with bills to pay would watch a streamer like that, before quickly walking the comment back. The conversation then drifted into more speculative territory, with some viewers joking that his numbers might be inflated by bots or artificial engagement. One claim even suggested that his 1 million subscriber milestone may have involved gifting himself subs at a discounted rate, though that remains an unverified claim circulating online rather than a confirmed fact.
Surprised at how many people don't know that this is how Kai broke the sub record. He got 1 million subs. Guys, you realize every sub that Kai gives himself, he gets 80%. So 1 million subs for him was not $5 million, it was $1 million. He had sponsors give him subs and things like that, because every sub that he gave himself, he kept 80%. That's how Kai got so many subs. It was self-gifting subs. You guys didn't know that?
Look, don't come for the donation streams, man. That's basically his last real lane left. And according to the chatter online, he's leaning on emotional appeals to pull in a younger audience, the kind who end up borrowing their dad's Amazon account to chip in. But jokes aside, people online have been calling him the king of disappearing acts. He goes quiet for 6 months, his subscriber count reportedly takes a hit. Some viewers claimed it dropped to around 200. And then he resurfaces with another big project to reignite the audience. Still, credit where it's due. The video Cenat put together for this was genuinely well made, and the production quality really shows. That said, even before anything officially kicked off, Streamer University was already looking chaotic from the outside. Things reportedly went sideways during the Atlanta audition, and according to online reactions, that was just the start. People haven't even gotten to the Detroit round yet. And that's exactly what keeps this conversation alive. Once a project gets labeled messy online, Every small detail starts getting picked apart like it's evidence of something bigger. Viewers aren't just reacting to the content itself anymore. They're reading into the tone, the rollout, and how the audience is being portrayed. So the discussion keeps swinging between jokes, criticism, and skepticism, with some viewers brushing it off as harmless internet noise and others treating it like a real reflection of what's going on behind the scenes. That's also part of why reactions can escalate so fast. When a streamer already has a strong public image, people tend to project their own assumptions onto every clip and every comment. A normal response can spiral into a full debate within minutes, especially if people suspect the numbers or the energy don't quite match what's being shown. The result? A lot of noise, a lot of opinions, and very little consensus. As for the actual tryouts, online reactions describe them as chaotic, with claims that Kai Cenat brought in already known streamers through the back door, including names like Ron Marlin and Lacey showing up unexpectedly. They compared it to the Oscars, except instead of celebrating winners, the spotlight went to everyone who got tangled up in the confusion. People wasting time, people left outside, people still waiting around. Meanwhile, the ones who did make it into the actual tryouts were reportedly goofing around, even though, by most accounts, they were never really in serious contention to begin with. That framing might be a little exaggerated. Streamers can just be naturally goofy on camera, but that's essentially how Streamer University is being described by viewers online.
I'm mad as I'm ready to just crash out, gang. I'm ready to just crash out. What's up with you, gang? Nah, I ain't gonna crash. Gang. It didn't get like that, bro, but I ain't gonna do that to you because you're my amigo, gang. But nah, bro, see this shit dead, bro. What the
How exactly are you supposed to act like you're in a gang while standing in line to audition for something called Streamer University? What does that even mean in practice? Are you supposed to have a meltdown? Is your bitrate gonna drop mid-audition? Even Andrew Tate's Hustlers University, controversial as it is, at least gets credit online for having some kind of structured pitch behind it. Kai Cenat, on the other hand, is being framed by critics as more of a master performer than anything else, and that's exactly the joke people online keep running with. But in all seriousness, this is what a lot of viewers are calling a recession indicator. Because if this many people are willing to line up for something called Streamer University, some are genuinely asking what that says about where things stand right now. That's part of why the joke keeps landing. People aren't just laughing at the setup, they're reading into what it represents about this whole moment in internet culture. Once a creator like Kai gets pulled into that kind of conversation, every clip starts carrying extra weight, even when it was never meant to. Some viewers see it as harmless entertainment. Others treat it as proof that streaming culture has gone completely off the rails. And that's why the discussion keeps growing louder instead of dying down. The more people debate the tone, the audience, and the image being sold, the more it spirals into a bigger argument about what online fame even means anymore. So even a simple joke ends up turning into a full conversation about internet identity, exaggeration, and how fast a bit can become an actual talking point. From there, the clip cuts to Kai hyping the moment. "What's going on? I'm about to show you how serious this really is." Someone in frame mentions bringing water. "We got lifesavers, we're prepared here." Someone else holds up a book and a ticket to see Kai. "You're gonna love this," he tells them. To be fair, visually, it does look pretty well put together. But online, people still joked that it turned a grown adult's audition into something that looked more like a postcard photo op. And the real point several viewers kept circling back to was simple. You don't see lines like that at actual job fairs, which is part of why some feel the whole scene says something a little strange about where things are right now. The bit escalated further with jokes about people supposedly bringing Jolly Ranchers, maybe even mixed with cough syrup just in case a celebrity cameo showed up. Total chaos, as the joke goes. So the tryouts get underway, and Kai admits up front, "I'm gonna be honest, I'm late, we're late, not gonna lie." From there, online critics argued that a lot of people showing up didn't necessarily want to put in the work of actually becoming a streamer. They wanted the Willy Wonka golden ticket version of it. Critics pointed out that real streaming success usually comes from grinding, putting out multiple videos a day, staying consistent, posting short clips just to keep momentum going, and that some of these hopefuls seemed more interested in skipping that part entirely. The vibe, as critics described it, was more "Walmart doesn't pay me enough, so I'm quitting to lock in with Streamer University" than genuine hustle. One line, "Walmart doesn't pay me enough," got picked apart online too,
with people pointing out that realistically, that complaint could apply to almost any entry-level job right now, so it didn't feel like some groundbreaking statement. One commenter summed it up bluntly: "They're not claiming to be a special case, they just want in. I don't know what economy you guys are living in, but I'd like to join you. Invite me to the server, please, because last I checked, rent's high, food's high, gas is high." Which raised the obvious question a lot of viewers asked: why would someone quit a stable job for a shot at maybe getting into something like this? Either the person was already on shaky ground with their job to begin with, some speculated, or they might end up trying to get that job back later. It had, as some described it, that classic "this isn't going the way I planned" energy. And honestly, plenty of viewers said they weren't emotionally invested either way, just noting that, as one commenter put it, the bills still need to get paid regardless. Meanwhile, the broader Cenat audience is reportedly excited about a stream returning after 9 months away. And that's part of what keeps fueling the jokes, the idea that Kai genuinely believes a serious adult audience is tuning in to watch. That disconnect is exactly why the reaction keeps sticking around. Once a single clip turns into a bigger internet debate, it stops being about one comment and becomes about the whole persona surrounding it. Some viewers laugh it off as exaggeration. Others use it to question who these creators actually think they're speaking to. That split is what makes the whole conversation feel so chaotic. One side treats it as harmless entertainment, the other reads it as evidence that streaming culture talks down to regular working adults while still branding itself as relatable. And because nobody fully agrees on what it all means, every new reaction just adds another layer instead of resolving anything. The jokes, the pushback, and the commentary all blend together until people are debating identity, audience, and whether any of it is even sincere. At one point, Kai pushed back directly on the criticism. "You're out of your mind if you think, the content I make is for me and other grown adults." Critics online argue that some creators lean on that kind of wording as a built-in excuse, letting them keep putting content in front of very young viewers without taking direct responsibility for it. Which raises the question some viewers kept asking: why get defensive about it at all, when the reality is he's earning millions every month doing something he clearly enjoys, and, in theory, has real influence either way, regardless of whether his audience skews younger or older. Some online critics also argued that streaming were truly the priority, stepping away for 9 months to focus on a fashion brand, a move some framed as squeezing extra revenue out of the audience, wouldn't make sense. That's simply how certain critics chose to frame it, not a confirmed motive. And to be clear, that's not meant as a biased take. Some of the same commentators pointed out they personally think other creators, like iShowSpeed, are doing more interesting or original work by comparison and come across less calculated. That's their opinion, not a stated fact. From there, the clip shifts. What briefly looked like Kai lighting a cigarette turns out to be him loading up a device that launches enrollment letters into the crowd, landing in what looked like a chaotic scene straight out of a Chicago backdrop. "Sponsor, I want you to pay me $200,000 for this. Actually, give me $250,000 in subs." And by most accounts, that's exactly what happened. His top subscription gift was reportedly from Valorant, followed by names like Snoop Dogg, eBay, Crocs, and State Farm.
Denied.
Oh, sorry.
Denied!
Sorry.
Denied! I say her.
I might just have to hop into his chat myself and drop a few "Whoa Kai" comments just to see how it all plays out in real time. And that's exactly why people keep circling back to moments like this. Once a clip gets pulled into this much online debate, the original point starts to blur. What started as a simple reaction turns into a much bigger conversation about image, audience, and how creators choose to present themselves when the internet is watching their every move. Some viewers treat it as just another loud social media moment. Others read deeper into it, arguing it reflects how streaming culture can look polished on the surface while still leaving plenty of room for confusion underneath. That disagreement is exactly what keeps the conversation alive. Nobody fully agrees on whether this is just playful banter or something that says more about the brand being built around it. And once commentary reaches that level, every new post, every clipped reaction, and every hot take stretches the story a little further. It stops being about a single sentence and becomes part of a bigger argument about who these creators are actually speaking to and what kind of audience they're really trying to hold on to. At one point in the clip, someone admits, "I'm so embarrassed. I genuinely think we need to move away from this kind of content in the streaming space."
I think it's about as corny as it gets. Someone else pushes back, playing devil's advocate. Let's not single anyone out. Streaming in general can come off pretty corny sometimes. A lot of longtime viewers say things felt different back when creators simply played games and leaned into being genuinely nerdy about it, rather than adopting a tougher, more curated street persona. Some even draw comparisons to how anime titles like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen brought waves of new fans into the streaming space. Though that's a bigger conversation most people online don't seem ready to fully have yet. Even now, some viewers still say that particular style just isn't for them. If that got you a little fired up, then the point's already been made. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment on this one.